Hi guys, my name is Aditya. I'm a qualified ACCA since September 2015. I've worked with many multinational companies in India as well as I'm teaching with Zell Education since the past couple of years. We have had hundreds of students who have passed in first attempt. We have had multiple batches where all students have passed, that is, we have had 100% passing rates. We have had extraordinary students who have scored such extraordinary marks that they have scored rank 1 in India, and also at the same time they have achieved rank globally also. In this video, I want to summarize few tips and tricks that I have learned as a student and as a tutor in a hope that these tips will help you pass the paper in first attempt. I am sure you guys must be very nervous right now because the exam is approaching. Don't be nervous. Let this tip and tricks video help you to pass this exam in your first attempt. And mind you, you need to pass with flying colors. Let's look at the tips and tricks now. The first and foremost important chapter is ratio. This is one chapter that has appeared in almost all the attempts. That's why I need you to make sure that you are very thorough with ratios. How will you answer your ratio questions? The ratio questions is generally of 20 marks. But don't be fooled by assuming that out of these 20 marks, major points are awarded for the calculation of ratios. Major points are not awarded for calculation of ratios. They are awarded for analysis of the ratios. That's why you should not allocate much time in calculation, but you should pay more attention to the analysis part. The ratio calculation part, it will be only hardly of 6 to 7 marks. The rest marks will be for analysis. That's why you need to know what has happened from one year to the second year, why the ratios have moved up or down. And mind you, don't just write that it has moved up or down. You need to explain why it has moved up or down. For that, you need to find out the reason from the question that is given to you. Look out for these 2-3 things which will be important. The way to find out the reason for why the ratio has moved up or down will be given to you in question. You always need to pay attention to the question because that is where you will get your answer the most and not by just writing up or down. Look at these reasons. Look if they are present in the question that is given to you. The next important topic is consolidation. In consolidation, the most common mistake that students make is whenever there is a mid-year acquisition or disposal, they don't bifurcate the P&L in 2 parts. You need to bifurcate subsidiaries P&L in 2 parts. It has to be in proportion. After it has been acquired, the results of subsidiary should come in the parent's books. Before acquisition, it should not come in parent's books. For property, plant and equipment, always remember the 2 important rules of revaluation. Whenever there is a first year gain, you should credit that in OCI. If there is a loss in second year, the previous OCI balance needs to be reversed first and then balance needs to be taken in your P&L. If there is a loss in first year, then you should debit your P&L. If there is a gain in second year, then you should reverse the P&L first and balance should go to your OCI. But mind you, whenever you are calculating this revaluation gain or loss, you need to first deduct the depreciation, arrive at the revised carrying amount and then find out what is the revaluation gain or loss. This is a very common mistake that students do in exam. Also remember, you will be given the wrong answer in your exam. You will be very much tempted to select that as your answer, but don't select that as your answer. Calculate it again and then select the correct answer. For single entity questions, always remember this important tip. Whenever you are reading your adjustments, always mark the relevant item that it impacts. Why you do this is because when you plot these numbers in your final answer, it will help you to remember that this adjustment needs to be impacted in this item first and then presented in your final answer. Always remember, when you are answering MCQ questions and if you come across a question which you don't have any idea about, don't answer that question at that point. Leave it out, flag it off at the top of your computer and visit that later. The reason why you do this is because you should always answer your best question first and then answer the question which you are not sure of. Another tip to remember is, if you don't know a particular MCQ, leave it out for the last part and write whatever answer you feel is correct. There is no harm in selecting any answer because there is no negative marking in F7. Always try and attempt 100% paper. The reason why I say this is because I personally feel that if you attempt the 100% paper, there are 50% chance that you will pass this paper. Always read the requirement of the question first and then start reading the question. The reason why you do this is because as and when you are reading the question, in your mind, you'll start framing the plan of attack. That is most important. When you face a difficult adjustment and you don't know what to do with it, don't worry about it. You are not going to be penalized for the whole sum. It is only the marks pertaining to that particular adjustment which are not going to be given to you. So don't get bogged down with these small adjustments. I personally feel that you should start with section C first. Reason being, section C is the one which will help you pass. Also, you should aim at getting at least 30 marks from section C. Most of these tips that you have just heard will help you pass all the papers of ACCA. So please keep them in mind.